Something of a magazine edition for you on the run up to Christmas. Couple of subjects to cover. Hello there. Tory peer Lord Cruddas is apparently warning that his favourite party is at risk from a right-wing insurgency. What he means is that the Tories are no longer the party of what he considers to be the centre-right, which leaves it vulnerable to, for example, Farage and Reform UK taking over that mantle. Farage and Reform? Centre-right? Don't think so. Anyway, what is all the more incredible is his assertion that, quote, what you're seeing today is a coup and hijacking of the Conservative Party by centre-left leaning people, unquote. When he says, again, quote, what we've seen since 2010 is an engineering of the Conservative Party to take us to the centre, possibly to the left, unquote, he's reading from the Gospel of Ayn Rand, that anything which supports wider society, collectivism, rather than the selfish individual, is fundamentally wrong and must be destroyed. This is all frankly deluded stuff and would be laughable were it not also so sinister. Cruddas is a Tory donor to the tune of £3.5 million and a Bojo appointee to the Lords, which says much in itself. He is refusing to make any further donations and is now funding the Conservative Democratic Organisation, which aims to give members more power over MP selection and leadership elections. It was the members who gave us Johnson and Truss as leaders, though MPs did put them on the ballot, so I think you'd fear where this democracy might lead. His version of party democracy had him campaigning over the summer, indeed it's still ongoing, to have the disgraced Johnson reinstated as a leadership candidate. His version of democracy is to buy it, so he gets what he wants. Like a spoilt child, if he doesn't get that, he takes his toys away. He's insisting on a return of the party to what he calls the centre-right. Unfortunately, as any independent political analysis has shown for years, politics has been pushed rightward by moneyed and other even nastier vested interests. If Sunak, Hunt, Gove and all those others represent the centre-left in his lordship's warped worldview, then the only name left for what he deems conservative is surely fascism. I can think of a few junior Tory ministers who might relish strutting on a balcony, arms folded and jaw jutting, just like good old Il Duce. What we have going on now is, in all but name, a form of general strike. The Conservative government seems unable to even understand, let alone deal with nurses, railway workers, border force staff, ambulance workers, postmen and other public and part public sector workers withdrawing their labour. Of course, the biggest problem for the Tories would be acknowledging that this is the end result of 12 utterly wasted years of their party in government. When you've pushed even the Royal College of Nursing, perhaps the least militant of unions, into taking strike action to safeguard pay, recruitment and indeed perhaps the future of the NHS, that admission would crystallise total failure. The Tory cabinet is trying to hide behind pay review bodies whose word is not gospel against what it has decided are unaffordable rises which wouldn't even make up 12 years of stagnation. They also try to claim any pay rises would make inflation spiral further, when it's not public sector workers' pay that's caused the current pressure. The Post Office rewards shareholders, yet pleads poverty when it comes to the staff that actually do the work. The Transport Secretary has actively interfered in negotiations with the RMT union, blocking a deal that the rail companies themselves put forward. The RMT is as much concerned about reductive staffing and safety proposals as it is with pay, and has already settled with the devolved governments. The Tories are also attempting to shelter behind their cheerleaders in the mostly right-wing press and media, who are desperate to serve the needs of their ultra-wealthy paymasters and demonise the strikers in the eyes of the public. It's a frequent tactic, for example, to choose the most highly paid level of those on strike and offer this up as typical salary, attempting to use pathetic envy to turn opinion. There have been any number of skewed and obviously biased pieces and quotes appearing, trying to assure people that strikers are greedy people led by union barons with a political agenda. Of course there's a political agenda. It's 12 years of Tory failure coming back to bite them. And mostly the public is not buying the media and Conservative line. They know that the strikers are also ordinary working people like themselves, who are struggling to keep their heads above the financial tide, even as wealth is transferred uphill into the hands of an ever smaller number of Tory donors, like the aforementioned Lord Cruddas. So, for now, the government thrashes about, dodging the issues, seeking to make striking illegal, when it's already much harder to call strikes since the bad old days of the 1980s. They will do anything but negotiate in good faith for genuine grievance. Maybe sanity might return, though given the existing evidence, obvious bafflement and dishonesty in Westminster, and yes, even the Labour Party seems unable to grasp the scale of the problem out in the real world, I'm not hopeful much will get resolved. If it doesn't, then perhaps it'll be even more incentive for voters to hand an electoral thrashing out to the Conservatives in May. This will be the last video before Christmas, so thank you to all those who do watch and like these. I wish you all well, stay warm and keep safe, and here's to a better new year. Thank you very much. Chin chin.